Today, I would like to provide you with some information about response to intervention. Hopefully, by the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding of what RTI, response to intervention, is and how it helps students in need. RTI is a multi-tiered approach to providing academic and behavioral supports to students in need. Most times in RTI, there are 3 tiers to the model. However, there could be 4 or 5 depending on what the school has decided to do. So what does a multi-tiered approach mean? RTI functions by first assessing all children in a general education classroom. This is the first tier, Tier 1. Meaningful and effective classroom instruction is implemented so all students can learn. All students are also given behavioral supports and screened or assessed to monitor their progress. If a student falls behind during classroom instruction or they are not progressing throughout the year, they are moved to the next level, which is Tier 2. In the second level of the intervention, smaller group instruction is implemented. Tier 2 is meant to reinforce what is being taught in the general education classroom. Tier 2 is still under the general education umbrella. It's not yet special education at most schools. If, after a certain period of time, a child is not making significant progress, they're moved to Tier 3. This level of intervention is provided for more time than Tier 2 and more frequently. Students in Tier 3 receive more individualized instruction to ensure they make the progress needed to equal success in education. Another key component of RTI is reaching students early in their education. Providing interventions earlier means students who are behind grade level expectations can receive help before falling behind even further. Earlier intervention provides students more opportunities for success throughout the entirety of their education. One of the biggest ideas in RTI is progress monitoring. Students are screened or tested in both math and reading at the first tier of RTI. This process is school-wide following the RTI model. That means every single student at a school would be tested in math and reading. Throughout RTI, students needing interventions are monitored to address how well they are responding to the instruction and interventions they are receiving. Progress monitoring is a great way to provide hard data showing a student's success or a student's need for reinforcement. Parent involvement is an integral part in any child's education, and especially when a child is needing special education services. The RTI process is not something everyone is familiar with. If a school has implemented RTI, it is important that parents know and understand the process. That way, they can reinforce ideas being taught at school at home to help a child reach their full potential. RTI is great because parents can be provided data indicating their child's progress and needs. Now that we have discussed what RTI is, we can talk about how it helps students. RTI is an effective process because it takes several measures to ensure that each and every child is successful and reaches their full potential. When a child is moved to Tier 2 or Tier 3, the instruction becomes more individualized to their needs. Another great thing about RTI is that the needs of all students are met. When a child falls behind, there are steps in place to reinforce their learning. At the base level, Tier 1 of RTI, general education teachers provide effective instruction and behavioral supports to all students in their classroom. Ensuring that every student is being given the opportunity to learn reinforces the tiered structure of RTI. This means that if a child is not maximizing their success, it is not because the instruction was not high quality and evidence-based. This model helps educators meet the needs of every child and ensure every child reaches their potential. The multi-tiered structure of RTI helps students with higher needs. When students are moved to Tier 2 or 3, the instruction they are provided becomes more intense and individualized. Students receive specific help more frequently and more often as they move up to Tier 2 or Tier 3. This is a key component to the success of RTI and students receiving this intervention. Let's look at a real-world application of RTI now that we know what it is and how it helps. Let's say a student is screened and shows a deficit in addition and subtraction. This may mean that they need extra support. The student has not been successful with high-quality instruction in their general classroom. So the student is then given small group instruction for a set period of time, which would be Tier 2 of RTI. This small group instruction is to reinforce their knowledge of addition and subtraction, all the while they are still receiving instruction in their general classroom. After 10 or 12 weeks, the student is tested again to monitor their progress. Because of the small group instruction they have been receiving, they now test at grade level. The RTI model has helped the child maximize their success, and they then can return to having instruction just be provided in their general education classroom. This is just one example of how RTI may help a student in need. I hope you have learned what RTI is and how it can help students.